Keith's an amazing guy.
What is up? It is Red, the Rideshare Ginger, coming right back at you here for video number 3 in this lovely red shirt that I got on here. Again, like I stated in the other 2 videos, I had a nice 40-45 minute drive in front of me, so I figured I'd knock out a couple of relatively quick videos. This one will probably be the longest one, and I still got about 30 minutes left of this drive, so maybe I even knock out a 4th video if I have something else I need to talk about, but I don't think I do. This video is, the future of rideshare. When will rideshare return back to normal? Will it return back to normal? And I can really only speak on the Chicago market because that's all I know, and that's what I know is going on. Every market's going to be different because it's all based on what's going on with coronavirus in your market. And some states are completely closed down, some states are semi-closed down, and some states are completely open. So it just kind of depends on what's going on in your area as to when things are going to return back to normal. But when do I think rideshare in Chicago is going to return back to normal? I think, and this is more of a hope, but a thought, I think if there's not a second wave of corona, I could see things returning back to normal around September. And that kind of, aligns with the typical summer slowdown of June, July, picking back up in August, returning to normal about September, mid-September. But there's a lot of caveats in there because the reason we return back to normal in September is college students are back and business travelers are back. And when I say business travelers, we're talking conventions, substantial amount of business travelers. And I think there's some conventions that are going to be canceled September, October, November, and they might not come back till next year. So we might not be 100% back to normal, but I can see us returning to relatively close to normal come September. And here's a couple of things that I think are going to help with that. So for one, I think there'll be some colleges that are back in session and kids will be on campus in some sort of hybrid capacity between on-campus and off-campus learning. And when I say kids in school, I may have said this already, I don't know. I'm talking college kids. College kids are the kids I'm talking about. And I think most business will be back to relatively normal by September. But what's going to help it is there's going to be less drivers out there because we're right now, so we've kind of hit the wall within the last couple of weeks, and I think this wall is going to continue for the next couple of months of rideshare and food delivery and grocery delivery is going to be bad. So one, too many drivers, too many people doing food delivery, too many people doing grocery shopping, and also less demand because things are opening back up in Chicago, so people are going and doing those things themselves. And on top of that, DoorDash and other things got reamed for the amount of money they were charging restaurants in order to use their services, so people are going to pick up their food now. Now, that's not everybody. There's still groceries to be shopped, there's still deliveries to be had, and there's still passengers to be driven. But there's less of it all, and there's more drivers. So what's going to happen over this next month to 2 months, maybe even 3 months, is there's going to be plenty of drivers that as jobs are returning back and people are getting back to work, there's going to be people that were rideshare drivers, full-time rideshare drivers, they're going to be like, screw this, I got screwed during this whole time. I almost didn't get any unemployment, or I didn't get unemployment at all. And so I didn't have that coming in, or I was scared that it wasn't going to come in, or I got it late or whatever. And rideshare sucks now on top of it, and my money's gone because it stops on July 25th. Or someone said July 31st, I gotta look more into it, but whatever, end of July. So my money's gone from unemployment now, and there's still no rides out there to be had. There's no deliveries to be had. I'm making $10 an hour. Why don't I go get a real job that has normal benefits, vacation, health insurance, and things like that, and paid time, sick time, and this and that. So there's gonna be people that were full-time rideshare drivers that jump ship and go get a real job that's outside of rideshare. There's going to be part-time drivers that jump ship and stop doing rideshare part-time because there's other endeavors that they can go into that are going to make them more money. So there's going to be less drivers, I think, at the end of this little wall that we've hit where there's less money to be made. There's going to be less drivers come September because they've left and gone to do something else. So there's less drivers. So yeah, there might be less rides, but there's going to be significantly less drivers at that point. So then there's going to be a little bit more money to go around. So that's why I see it somewhat returning back to normal at that point. But we'll see. Another thing that's there that I think will help things, return to normal as far as money goes is I don't see pool probably coming back for the rest of the year, if ever. Pool rides are going to be gone for a while because Corona. So, or COVID, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So Corona will prevent pool rides from coming back, which means if a typical pool ride has let's say two riders on average, that's now 2 additional rides that can go to 2 separate drivers. And yes, some people will jump ship and some people will go with public transportation like CTA instead of doing the Uber because the Uber costs more money when they're not able to pool. So yes, you will lose some passengers because of that, but I think the net outcome is more rides in total. Because of Corona, people are going to be afraid to ride on public transportation still. So they'd rather jump into an Uber where they know it's just them and their driver, both people are wearing masks, and they feel safe. Again, this is all speculation, but this is what I think is coming if there's not a second wave that shuts things back down here in Chicago. But who knows? Because I think Arizona opened back up and they just got a second wave that was pretty bad in theory. So with that in mind, maybe Chicago never fully opens up because they're afraid of it, so things don't return back to normal. It's all a fluid thing, but I do think if all continues down the path that we're going, things should return back to normal roughly in September. But with that in mind, how many of you are going to survive till September? Like, if I don't make money, and money's shit, and we're making $15 an hour in June, July, and August, I can't do that. I'm not going to survive. So I've got other avenues that I've been going and looking into, but I might even end up with a regular job. Ugh, that's a bad word. That's like a 4-letter word in my mind. I don't want a regular job. I've never really had a boss in my life. And I'm 29. So I'm not looking forward to that. So I'm looking at other avenues. Hopefully things return back to normal quicker than that. And if Lyft and Uber are offering big bonuses like Lyft did this week, then things could be fine, even if they're not completely normal per se. But let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you have a different outlook, if you agree, if you disagree. I'm curious what everyone else is thinking. If you're in a different market like LA or Pittsburgh or Jacksonville or Tampa, Orlando, I don't know why I'm just listing off a bunch of different cities. If you're in any other damn market, let me know what's going on there and if things have returned back normal there, or if things are wide open, if things are opened up in your city and things aren't returning back to normal, let me know that too, because that'll give some of the viewers a little bit of a heads up on what to expect in our states as our states start to open up if they've been closed. But until next time, guys, like, comment, share, let me know what you think. Thanks.